Harvard has decided that they will not be removing the Sackler name for several reasons from their building after years of pressure from the families of victims of opioid deaths. Other universities, other museums all over the world didn't hesitate to remove the Sackler name. But Harvard, well, in their ivory tower, they decided that they simply don't care. They're above the fray, right?
Yeah. Come on down to Sackler Hall. Come to the Sackler Museum over here at Harvard. And you have, just countless these families of the people who died from people who overdosed on opioids, been begging the university for years, just take the guy's name off it. Arthur Sackler, his name is on multiple buildings at Harvard. And they said, please, this is now a monument to our child's death, and you're honoring it, and this is disgusting. Just take the name off.
This is their own students. This is their own graduates who have enough sense to have a moral compass. A moral compass that says, look, Harvard, you're already in a demise. I mean, they're in a total demise right now.
Recently.
Whether it's, you hear about 2020 where you've got the cheating scandal, and they're finding that, these kids that are supposed to be so bright are actually taking the actual exam at home because they have a copy of it, Or the medical school where they're falsifying data in the medical school, and they're trying, at the Dana-Farber Medical School, the cancer center right there, they're actually falsifying data is what these reports are. And these people are being caught doing that. Or the issue of plagiarism. My God, when the university president has to resign because of plagiarism, and then story after story comes out of Harvard plagiarism stories, you start going, this is a university that is in total demise right now. They are just spinning down the toilet, and nobody seems to care. This is just another story here, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And Harvard gave what I think is probably one of the dumbest excuses we've ever seen, because the buildings are named, as they point out, after Arthur Sackler. Well, Arthur Sackler died a few years before Purdue Pharmaceuticals actually came up with OxyContin. So technically, he didn't do it. So we're going to leave his name. So you families, you're grieving. Oh, we lost our students. Oh, that's sad. But this is a different Sackler, so it's okay. It's not. It's the same guy who started the company that did this.
I mean, you had 150 people every day dying in this country because of what the Sacklers did. They created a scam. They created something that they knew was no different than any other narcotic. They put it on the market. They spent billions of dollars convincing doctors that it was different. They even went as far, Farron, as creating their own metrics. It was the face, the smiley face, the not so happy face, the sad face, scale 1 to 10 that they created. And they told doctors, you must do this. You must use this scale or you're going to be sued. Now, full disclosure, I handled the cases against all the other distributors. I mean, we settled that case for $52 billion. And you had Sacklers that thought they were going to skate from it, okay? They declared bankruptcy. They got gazillions of dollars and they declared bankruptcy. And the court said, hell no, you don't have bankruptcy. The Supreme Court said, hell no, you don't have bankruptcy protection. So we're going after them with a vengeance right now. And we've just started cranking up that case. But if you look at our results from McKesson, AmerisourceBergen, Cardinal, CVS, name them, we went through them and we collected, at this point, paying into to try to solve this problem, where they're setting up institutions for rehab. They're setting up guidelines on how people can use or should not use opioids. They're doing what they should have done years ago when the media was ignoring this because pharma was spending so much money advertising on their channel. But now this $52 billion is at least a start. And we're not done. We're not done. And Sackler, buddy, they are absolutely right within our radar. But, when you've got a university that has this kind of checkered history, you don't just say everything's okay. The last one was where the Jewish kids were suing them there at the university because they were being physically attacked. They were being harassed. They couldn't even go to class. And so they're being sued, and friends of mine are bringing that lawsuit. And the guys bringing that lawsuit, the women bringing that lawsuit, it's going to be a bad day for Harvard if they don't settle that one.
Well, you know, I do think just one more thing about this that I want to point out is there was a great quote because the Louvre Museum, world famous museum, they had Sackler's name on one hall and they took it off because they said, oh, hell no, we're not going to be associated with that. And there was a quote where somebody had said, do you think you're better than the Louvre? And no, Harvard, you are clearly not better than the Louvre.
And you are going down the drain by the day, it looks like.